Good morning, Internet. This is the old fat dad. Let me show you what I got for you today on this rainy Memorial Day. Making a choice for which caliber to use for self-defense is a very difficult decision. So for those of you who decided that 22 LR is the right choice for you, I wanted to make this video to give a comparison of a couple different kinds of ammunition in 22 LR that I think are particularly effective rounds. On the table you can see the Smith & Wesson M&P 22 Compact and 3 different cartridges. Starting from slowest to fastest, here is a CCI AR 22. It's a 40 grain bullet going 1200 feet per second. It's a round nose bullet. Next up I've got the Aguila Interceptor. It's a 40 grain bullet and it's going about 1400 feet per second. It is also a round nose bullet. And finally we have the infamous Stinger. It is a 32 grain cartridge and it's going about 1600 feet per second, and it is a hollow point. The reason I chose round nose projectiles for the 2 slower bullets is that out of a smaller gun, I don't know if we can count on getting expansion from a hollow point. The CCI Stinger is going pretty darn fast, so I think we're going to be okay as far as getting that one to expand. We're only going to be doing one test today, and what we're going to be doing is putting this beef bone in front of our ballistic modeling clay, and we'll take a shot at about 7 to 10 yards and see how effective our 3 rounds are going through that bone and into our modeling clay. Okay, let's take a look at that hit. Went in right there. Looks like a solid punch right through that bone. Into our clay. And you can see there, she went all the way through. Came out the back side there. And here is the bullet. This is the CCI round nose AR 22, 1200 feet per second, 40 grain. Okay, let's take a quick look at the clay that's been shot by the CCI AR Tactical. So it seems to make a nice round hole, a little bit wider than a 22, all the way through. Drag some of that bone in there as well. And that's about 4 inches of clay there, and punched a hole through that bone, no problem. Alright, let's take a look at the Aguila Interceptor results on the bone and clay. Blew through that bone pretty good. Wow, really made a hole out the back. And here is the entrance into the back of the clay, and it looks like it didn't go all the way through. Let's check. Nope, didn't go all the way through. It stopped right in the front there. Let's take it back to the table so I can dissect it. Let's take a look at how the Aguila Interceptor did. Here's the bone. Got a 22 sized hole in, and then looks like we got much more damage coming out than the AR Tactical. Really broke that bone up pretty good. Let's take a look at that clay. Here's our entry, and again just pushed a bunch of that bone right into that hole there. Got big shards compared to the mostly just dust that went in with the AR Tactical. And let's open that up a little bit so we can see if there's anything inside there. So that's about as deep as the Aguila Interceptor got. And I would say it made it about 1 to 2 inches in there. We've got a fully mushroomed out bullet there. This thing, if I can get it folks, there he is, is totally opened up. Now this is a round nose bullet, but it's moving fast enough that when it hits something hard, or it hits that clay, it mushrooms out really well. So not as much penetration as the AR Tactical, but a lot more damage to the bone, and we get a totally mushroomed out bullet. Here are the results of the CCI Stinger redneck ballistic test. Here's our bone. 2 little 22 sized holes in. And let's see, there she goes. Nice big holes on the back side. Blew out a lot of bone there. In the clay, you can see where those bone shards got dragged in there. Let me do a quick dissection. We don't have full penetration on either one. So let's see what it looks like. Okay, there's our one hole in with the CCI Stinger. And here is our bullet, or what's left of it. Here's the remains of the CCI Stinger. It also mushroomed out completely. But unlike the Aguila Interceptor, which seemed to have retained most of its weight, this one is busted up, and I'm sure there are tons of little fragments in there. The CCI Stinger did go most of the way through that block. There was almost complete penetration through the block with the Stinger after it hit that bone. And just like that Aguila Interceptor, tons of bone shards got dragged into these holes. What conclusions can we draw from our little test today? I think it's important, first of all, to say that there are no harmless firearms. There's no harmless cartridges. I've heard people say that the 22 LR is a baby round, not a real bullet, etc., etc. I just want to emphasize and be very clear about this. Every firearm will kill you dead. Every firearm will kill the people around you dead. Please, please be careful when you're handling any guns, no matter what their size. As for the 22 LR in particular, let's take a quick look at these bones. These are all the exits. Here's the AR Tactical. Here is the Aguila Interceptor. And here's the CCI Stinger. These are not extremely thick bones, but they are dense. They do have some significant thickness to them. Each of the 22 rounds had no problem passing through the bone and into that clay behind it. As a note, it is about 70 degrees outside. The clay is not warm. It is a cloudy day and rainy, so the clay is very hard today. Despite that, the AR Tactical went all the way through the clay, and each one of these other high velocity rounds, although they didn't go all the way through, they mushroomed out quite well into that clay. I think it's safe to say that even out of this concealed carry sized handgun, if you shot somebody with a 22 round and it hit their bone, it would penetrate or break whatever it hit. Compared to the AR Tactical round, the 2 higher velocity rounds did significantly more damage to the bones. The trade-off was much less penetration. This video is not meant to be the final word, but the beginning of a conversation. If you choose to concealed carry, does the 22 LR round make sense for you?